Hello, hello. We should be live. I have just another thing to do to set things up, which is to just find the game URL. There we go. And whenever the game starts, we're gonna be going live. Okay. So I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope everyone is ready for this FFA, for this event. So what we're gonna see today is quite a few custom maps that some clan members, DoD and, well, DoD Scray and DoD CodeH made. I will redo the intro in a couple of minutes when a few more people have joined. And so, yeah, we're gonna see 4 games today. I'm gonna be streaming 2 of them on YouTube, and DoD CodeH, no, not CodeH, Flume is gonna be streaming the other 2 onto Twitch. I'm gonna put up a link in the chat so that I have to change that thumbnail real quick. This is not the right thumbnail. I did make one. Just got I thought I was all set up, but not quite. Okay, we have a few more concurrent viewers now. There's 4 of you now. So I'm just gonna do a little recap and probably do a third one later. So this evening is gonna be the DoD Underworld FFA. We are gonna see. Thank you, KDH. I didn't even think. Are you participating? Or like, I didn't even check to see. So we're gonna see 4 games tonight. 2 of them will be cast by Flume on Twitch on the Deities of Death channel, which I've put a link to in the YouTube chat. I'm gonna be streaming the other 2 games on YouTube. And it's going to be the standard idea of an FFA, just a bunch of players fighting against each other. Alliances are allowed if they are like declared in the general chat, so everyone can see them. We're going to have a couple nomad maps, and it's going to be quite a bit of fun, I'm sure. No Regicide, no King of the Hill, no nothing for this edition of the FFA. But next month, when we're going to do the second batch, this is going to be probably Regicide, unless we change our mind by then, but that's a solid possibility. Still waiting for the game to start. supposed to be told when the game actually starts, so that should be pretty okay. Let me know if the sound is okay, if the image is okay, if everything's alright. I'm gonna be shuffling the cards right now, so I hope that doesn't come across. It's something I do when I want to fidget with my friends. But then when we're gonna be actually spectating the game, I'm gonna have my hands on the keyboard and with a spectating keybind, so. So it looks like it's not refreshing here, but from what I understand, from what I see on the Discord, it's actually refreshing. And like all there, it seems. Hello to the growing number of concurrent viewers. Happy to see quite a few people here now. I'm gonna do a proper intro again once the game starts, which is not gonna be exactly right now, probably. We're gonna wait a few more minutes, I think. And in any case, there is the 3 minutes delay for spectators, so. At the last minute, someone who wants to join the game, so this is why it's taking a bit longer. What I could do is give everyone a look at the maps that we're going to be playing on today. Just got to find them in the mods that I've got installed. Let me double check. I'm actually trying to find which maps we're going to play on, because like I know all the maps we've got, but I'm not sure which 4 have been selected. Okay, so I just found the list. So Group B, which is the group I'm going to be spectating, will be playing Game 1 on the DoD Hades map, which is this one. So the idea is this is an Underworld themed map, like all the maps that we're going to play on today. There's going to be fishing on this map, so this is a sort of water map. I've played and playtested it quite a few weeks ago, and it was a bit rough with some tiles regeneration that just prevented you from building anything. That's been since corrected, so we shouldn't have any issues in that regard. It mentions images below, but I think I can only see them on the website rather than in-game. The other map we're going to play for Game 2 is going to be River Styx Nomad, which I must have somewhere here. I think it's the Erebus map set. Yep, Nomad River Styx, so it's a classic Nomad sort of gameplay, just on the River Styx, so which is the one of the maps that you can play at the moment. It just happens to not have any fish. So this is going to be sort of a water map, but there's not going to be any water shenanigans for the most part. Maybe a few transport ships to get around, but even that would be a bit surprising to me. It depends on which map it is. I'm thinking, is it a map with a big island in the center and two starting islands in the corners, in which case there would be quite a few transport ships. And so Group A, which is the group that Flume is testing on Twitch, is going to be playing Game 1 on Erebus Bits, which is also a Nomad game, and a reskin of Mount Olympus with the gameplay of Nomad, of course. And there is a greater resource randomization, so it's not going to be as streamlined. Who's going to get, like, probably not everyone's going to be getting the same amounts of resources, which is not the best for a competitive game, but pretty nice for a fun sort of FFA. And Game 2 is going to be on Nile Deep, which I believe I've got somewhere not too far from here. Nile Deep Creek, I think that's probably this one. Unless there's been I think that's it, yes. So this might be one that's not Underworld themed. I have also playtested with this one, and it's gonna be sort of a Nile Shallows reskinned with deep water instead of shallow water, so you can just walk around. And it was already a special kind of shallow water since you couldn't build docks or ships, and in this case you're actually not going to be able to walk over it with units, and you're going to have to make ships, although for the most part it's going to be connected on land. Okay, going back to the multiplayer games thingy. I just remembered it. I was about to copy paste it again. Okay, so it's gonna be more minutes before everyone joins, it looks like. Okay, thank you, Kudich, for the correction. It's going to be DoD Niles. I will double check if I've got this one, and I will make the presentation again. So it's not Niles Deep Creek, it's... Is it in the Erebus map set? Well, since it's Cray who made it, I guess not. I've been missing this one. Okay. Okay, this is the one. So I stand corrected. Let's do the usual things that we're supposed to do as part of the clan. So this is okay. This is going to be an actual Underworld version of the Nile Shallow map. It does have fish, so the way it's going from what I'm just seeing is that Group B, which is my group, is going to have Game 1 on a water map and Game 2 on a Nomad map. And Group A, which Flume is going to be casting on Twitch, is going to have a Nomad map to start with and a water map to end with. So, as you can see right here, it's going to be a fair few small islands. That's reminiscent of the Archipelago map, but I would love to see that on the ranks, but I don't think other people would. So, yeah, it's going to be... it looks fun. I want to play on that one now. Okay. Looks like they're still not quite set up. Okay, I just received the information that we've got pretty much 3-4 minutes to go, and if people haven't showed up by then, we're gonna start anyway. Hello to my either 8 or 10 concurrent viewers. I've got 2 numbers on my screen, and okay, just updated to 8. I might as well just do the presentation again. So tonight is going to be the Underworld FFA event. We're going to be playing 4 games. I'm going to be streaming the 2 games of Group B on YouTube, and DoD Flume is going to be streaming the other 2 games from Group A on Twitch. I put a link to the Twitch channel in the YouTube chat if you want to go there. It's going to be a standard FFA, no sniping shenanigans, no giant map sizes or anything at the moment. It's going to be standard size maps, although custom maps, of course, made by the DoD clan, by Scray and CodyH. And so yeah, standard size, no regicide, no King of a Hill, just a plain good old FFA to start with. And next month's FFA is most likely going to be regicide, although we might want to wait for confirmation to be sure. But there's still a ways to go before then. These are the growing pains of starting a new event where you didn't quite figure out the organization to start with, and you're kind of figuring things out as you go, minute by minute. The 3-minute spectator delay is going to be quite painful after all this wait. I'm just joking a bit around, telling you guys what I've been doing the intro 3 times already, and it's starting to be a bit long. Okay. I like how 8:15 was 2 minutes ago. Okay, Group A, which is streamed by Flume, is starting right now. And mine, I'm sure, is about to start in a second or 2 or 3. Group A actually got an out of sync, so this is not anyone's fault for them. Well, not the player's fault. And Group B is about to start. I guess I need to refresh one more time. I can press start, spectate. I don't know why it takes an hour to refresh in the game. I don't have to reset my game, do I? Let me just try something. Okay, that did nothing. Okay, I'm gonna have to restart the game. What I think I'm gonna do is also restart this. Okay. And now I can speak. Yes, okay. I was about to say I'm gonna restart the game and restart the stream and everything, but last second, this saved my ass. Okay, so I'm gonna pause for a second, maybe not even. So, let me do the intro again. We are today playing the Underworld FFA hosted by the DoD clan. This is going to be 4 games, 2 of them streamed on Twitch by Flume, 2 of them streamed on YouTube by me. You are presumably watching this right now, since you are hearing me say that. Either now DoD. We're going to play on 2 types of maps. It's going to be 1 water map and 1 nomad map. So for my group, Group B, they start with a water map, very some fish all over the map. And the second one is going to be the nomad map. So this is an FFA. As always, all the players are against each other. They are allowed to form alliances if they speak in the chat, so that everyone can see what's going on. Unfortunately, I cannot see the chat when I spectate, which is not the best. And yeah, that's about it. There's 6 people right now in this group. I'm gonna do a little introduction of all the players here today. So DoD Dagon is a member who joined a couple months ago, I think, who's been volunteering a few things to help out with, for instance, this event, hosting the map and doing a few things behind the scenes. Here is also, yes, that is how I do this. TXMs, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to pronounce that. He's a player I haven't heard about much before. I might have seen a few messages in Discord, but nothing that I remember. I'm quite curious to see what sort of level he's got and what he's gonna go for. So he's playing as Poseidon, which I forgot to mention is playing as Chenong. Let's go with Rocco next. Rocco is also a DoD member. He just hasn't joined the clan in-game because there's been a few difficulties with the UI. And he's today playing with Paul. He's one of the more recent additions to the clan. And pretty skilled, like around 1400, 1500 elo from what I recall. So even peaking at 1600, I think. That should be interesting. Here is Nito, who, likewise, I haven't seen much in the Discord chat, unless maybe he's got a different nickname there. He's playing as Freyr, so we've got quite a few Norse here today. There's 2 Freyr and 1 Thor. I'm quite interested to see if both of the Freyr players are going to go for the late game, potentially. Which makes quite a bit of sense in an FFA, but they might be taken by surprise by someone else attacking them. And Red Cardinal is playing as Loki, and I hadn't recognized the portrait at first. So there's 4 Norse actually in this match, this FFA. I wonder if he's going to be doing some sort of early aggro, maybe a heroic push, or maybe just gonna boom, which has quite some potential to do with Heimdall, but we see that he's going Freya, so that wouldn't seem to be the case. And last player right now is Kleb, who likewise I haven't heard about, but looking at him, he's from the clan Chad. That's going to be interesting to see him as well. And I see that the Freya players are right across from each other. So I'm going to have the entire map revealed for now. And I usually prefer to have it from the player's point of view and switch between the player's point of view, but this is not a 1v1, so it makes, I think, more sense to have everything revealed. So our Shenong player is going up with Chio. We saw that our Loki player was going up with Freya. Our Kleb is going up with Ula. Nito is also going up with Ula, which makes sense. It's going to be an FFA, it's going to be pretty defensive. Potentially. Of course, aggro can work and could work very well, but so can defense. Poseidon has reached up with Hermes, TXMs. I'm gonna go with TXMs. Or TXMs. Okay, so we see TXMs already going for a second TC, so he's planning to play the long game. Now, is it gonna be 2 TC into some aggro, 2 TC into a Hurricane? Maybe going for a Mythic Age with a Thyroid, which could work very well. Kleb is rolling off over here. He's potentially gonna go for this town center with this nice hunt there. Has any player gone for fish yet? Okay, so Nito just has. I think he just started. And Dagon has as well. But the other players just haven't. Which is, I think, a bit of a missed opportunity. That's quite a bit of fish. And it's not gonna scale amazingly into the late game, but it's gonna be a very interesting and powerful food income until early Mythic for sure. And it's pretty safe on this map since besides this sort of lagoon, lake at the center, it's all in the corners, pretty safe behind the players. Now we see Rocco going for a dock of his own, before Kleb can do so. Kleb is himself going for a TC, so is Rocco. We do not see Red Cardinal going for one yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does at some point. It's interesting, Nito hasn't gone for a second TC as well. I wonder if to some extent that's because they're playing North and don't have too many units to build it with at first. That is a bit unfortunate to have only 2 fish, but not very much product. That's going to take a long time to pay off, but the situation is much better on this side. Oh, we see a Berserk fighting a Shade in winning, which is almost surprising to me. But it's a classical Age Berserk, so it does some damage. And Dagon hasn't gone for a town center either. As the usual scouts roaming around the map. I wonder if Dagon might be going for a past heroic and wanting to put down a Baule over here to secure this gold mine and this hunt while putting pressure onto Nito. Tixams is well established on the back of his map. I would like to see a dock right there, that would be nice. Doesn't seem to be aiming for a heroic age at the moment. Gathering quite a lot of gold, I'm not sure what that's about. These villagers are cute, onto food over here, onto wood on this side. Kleb may potentially be going for a heroic age, we can get that macro, but potentially not. Because those are 7 dwarves, which is a lot of gold income, compared to 12 villagers on food. Rocco is going for a second dock, he just doesn't want any wailing time between his ships. And here's the first attack of the game. Red Cardinal is rushing Rocco. A decent size army. And this is gonna hurt for Rocco. Losing quite a few units, a couple of dwarves, or villagers maybe. But he's now pushed off. But of course he's not exactly fleeing. Okay, this seems to be where it stops for now. Nito has gone for his second town center. Dagon still hasn't, and hasn't jumped ages yet. Although he has a pretty huge ratio, and as soon as the armory comes in, he has started. Okay. Tixams has switched up his macro and is now gonna be aiming for a heroic age. Not too much going on Kleb's side. And here's more action. Well, I do like to see this early aggro. Since Red Cardinal is only on 1 TC, he's taking rather heavy losses, and that's going to cost him a lot, especially versus a Rocco who is playing as 4, so who has better units to start with his armory upgrades, and who has a second TC, and like he actually has eco to back up his losses, which isn't so much the case for Red Cardinal. Oh, no, that's just a shade. Now that Kleb is going for some more docks. He might have scouted that Rocco is on this side and just didn't want to bother. But he's a bit late to capitalize on this spawn, but since Tixams just hasn't gone for it, that's quite okay. There's a Pegasus of Nito, so he must have gotten the relic Bridle of Pegasus. That is right. First to the hurricane is Dagon. And are we gonna see a... Sounds like some villagers have died. Oh wow. XM is now raiding Dagon, who's gonna be pressured on this side with something to worry about on this side, potentially. Especially since I suppose he doesn't really know what's going on back there. So that was a few picks for XM, which is nice. XM is ready to go to the hurricane, but just like Dagon, he hasn't got any armory up yet. Red Cardinal is falling behind. We now start to see this slower echo from only being on one town center being reflected in the score. And okay, Fab wants to secure this hunt, this gold mine. That sounds good. And the second is Guardian Hill for traps. Okay. Right. That's a pretty big deal because Dagon is gonna be either pushed back off of this gold mine and hunt, unless he actually comes to fight for it, but yeah, it's just out of line of sight. But he does spot it like that. Now, this could make or break the game for Dagon here. Can he? No, he cannot deny this hill fort after with that little time remaining. But he might be able to win this fight, especially with the Fabis now. It looks like Nito is winning this pretty hard, and harder by the second. Because the Sarso just do not care about those mech units. I think if Dagon had been a bit quicker to drop his volley over here maybe, before this hill fort came up, like he could have with maybe a bit of market micro, that would have been great. And now he's being pushed on the other side by XMs, so this is quite a perilous situation for him. Rocco has just grabbed a third town center, and has decided that he might as well destroy that wall with his Kraken. So not quite any fighting right now on this side, but it might not be long from now. And Nito is pushing even harder on Dagon now, with 6M still roaming about. I like how he's taking down that town. Not any fighting going on here yet. And not really anything here either. That is a wall of houses if I've ever seen one. And a pretty beautiful one too. I would love to see that TC being grabbed and a dog being built there. That relic while you're at it. You're gonna have to do a farm transition at some point. Okay, the fighting has started over here. With both a Frost and a Tempest. I like this move from Rocco. He knows he just cannot win this fight. But he has to build by himself sometime. Oh, but Rocco is gonna be attacked on both sides now. He doesn't have a military. I think taking that DC was a mistake. He probably would have been better off with a hill fort. Just go for the TC. That TC should already be down by now. Looks like on this side Rocco has stabilized, XMs and Nito have backed off. Is anyone going Mythic Cage? Not that I can see. And it looks like Rocco is cycling this position and choosing to take this fight over here, which I think is the right move. And I think Red Cardinal missed his opportunity to take down that TC. seems he's actually winning this fight, so I think that TC might still be going down. A few yards coming in. Now Kleb is taking this spot, and he's well on his way to being the top dog in this game. Oh, and a fight has broken out in the top of the map. So I guess Dagon was trying to push onto Tixam's, but then Tixam's bronze is pushing him back very strongly. He probably has spotted this fortress and just doesn't want to fight into it, but I don't think he's gonna survive still. So this is Rocco's first fire. And he's just... okay, he managed to push back Red Cardinal and he's just trying to survive versus Gleb right now. But Tixams is winning this fight pretty hard. Although Dagon has by no means lost that position yet. And now Rocco is in a ton of trouble. He might be... okay, he's just going on this wood line. I'm not sure what he's gonna do, besides just maybe hope that Gleb and Red Cardinal kill each other. Okay, I like to see this hill fort. With just a 1 or 2 units, which is gonna be enough to get it up in time, because he's got his army in the front then. But there's no need to have 10 units on top of it. Okay, Rocco is pretty desperate right now. He's converted a bunch of berserks. Is he doing a berserker rock of sorts? That's 65 berserks. I don't know if it's gonna be enough, but it's a lot of berserks. I don't think it's gonna be enough. Certainly not versus Gleb, but it's gonna be enough versus Red Cardinal. And he doesn't have an eco to speak of anymore. I think he was just a sort of let's go up in flames in an epic fight sort of idea. And yeah, the fighting is continuing between Tixams and Dagon. I'm not quite sure why Dagon went on this gold. I guess he just doesn't have any other option. That's very bad for Dagon. And on this side, Kleb has just completely won the map. What was even killing this? He might have just deleted it. Rocco does have a few units here and hasn't surrendered, so he might be onto something, but I haven't quite caught on myself. Yep, Dagon is going back on this gold mine and it's just not working for him. And he's been pushed off this one, so it's gonna be market macro time. Speaking of a market, does any of the players have one? Yes. Kleb does, and someone has sold a lot of wood, but the rates for wood are pretty good still, so Dagon can buy himself a fair bit of time. That is a beautiful 4-headed Hydra. 700 damage dealt. And Tixams is now in Mythic Age. And I suppose gonna be grabbing some really hefty upgrades soon. He should have full bounce at this point in the game. Although it's not like Dagon is in a much better spot either. And Nito got up to Mythic Age as well. I suppose Kleb is, yep, he's almost there. And so the top dogs right now are looking to be Nito and Kleb, with Tixams not far behind. I wouldn't bet too much on Red Cardinal at the moment, but who knows. I wouldn't bet too much on Dagon either. Yeah, so he's being completely pushed off this spot. That is a dead Hydra, that is sad. That's a lot of damage with each hit. Ed continues to clean up Rocco here. And Tixems continues to clean up Dagon, yeah. And taking a look at players' resources, it looks to me like Nito might be wanting to go for a Wanda. Gabe isn't quite there, but maybe. And Tixems might be going for it later down the line, but I don't think that's his priority right now. And there we go, our first kill of the day. Arguably second kill, since Rocco is not in a much better spot. But Dagon is out, Rocco is out. If I'm not mistaken, there's nobody in from the Duty clan left. Yeah, since Rocco... Yep. So... just 4 guests, I suppose, we could call them. Now Nito is just gonna ravage Red Cardinal. And Kleb is gonna take on Red Cardinal from the other side. And now Tixems is going for another town center. He wants to expand on the map now. He might be a bit late to that, but it might still work out for him. Nito is getting ever closer to that one though. And Kleb isn't quite there either. What are the players' upgrades looking like? I would like to see both players go full bronze now and start getting some iron upgrades, especially Kleb. And regarding... okay. Exams, you should get all your upgrades, please. Like, you went with Hephaestus, please get this upgrade and get all of these. And the third, there we go. You're making me very, very happy right now. There's only 3 contenders left. Nito, who's gonna start a Wanda soon, unless he gets his other army killed or something and needs to rebuild it. Gabe is slowly but surely accumulating some resources as well. He has started to trade routes, although it's a very bad one. I suggest... okay. He has sent a few caravans to a further away TC, which is nice. Would be nice to retask those ones. I don't think that Nito has started a trade route yet, which is potentially why he's ahead in, especially in terms of food. Hasn't been spending all his resources on caravans. We do not often see that. A double Fenrir Inferno. So Nito 270 pop, Nep 270 pop, they did roughly the same damage to each other. Well, and they have about the same pop cap. Although it looks to me like Kleb, maybe. Okay, there he goes, there he's got his bronze now. That is nice to see. Bronze shields would be, well, not too relevant versus Kleb, but will be nice to get eventually. Are you serious? Exams, get those upgrades. I would bet onto Nito for scans. Especially with that Rock Giant that tanked quite a lot of stuff. Okay, so what are the resources looking like for Nito? Yep, he just drained all his gold to make another army and a Titan Gate. And Kleb drained all his food. That is pretty good on the gold. Those are lots of idle bars. Okay, and the ballista spammage has started now for Nito. Oh, and okay, this is interesting. Tixems has just started to roll over Kleb. And so, unless something drastic happens, I think Kleb is gonna be out of this game not too long from now. And we're gonna have our 2 top dogs, Nito and Tixems. I think that's just a ballista that was really pointed somewhere around here and just isn't visible in the banner of idle military units since it's not idle anymore. But there's no point in destroying this. That is a nice velocity raid. Don't very often see that. So Tixem's 260 max pop. Kleb, who has lost a couple TCs, 260 as well. And Nito 310. And gonna be jumping up to 335. He does have 45 town centers. Okay, Kleb has come back and is now starting to defend himself. There we go, that's nice to see with upgrades. Grab the bronze ones now. You've got the resources to spare, maybe a bit of market macro. Do we see any head highway? That is a bit of a missed opportunity with so much time to prepare. And with the right card combinations. And it looks like Tixems is going to be pushed off here. Like, a bunch of head highway would have pinned up this army without any difficulties. Yes, Tuxoki is the best choice here. Although Kleb is in a pretty bad spot in terms of eco. He's very far behind on villager counts. And pressured on his side by Nito, who is working forward with a very scary army. Which is not yet in full iron. Nito, by the way, with 12,000 food. Like, you could put a few more on gold. I get that on the up. Even to some, well, not so much market macro anymore. I think that might just be enough food to get to 5,000 food without dropping below 5,000 food either. And so, because Kleb is under pressure, he's just forced to let Tixems just rebuild his army. Okay, he's grabbing his bronze upgrades now. You have two armories, you might as well use both. Although, I'm sure in the heat at the moment, it's quite hard. I just realized I don't have the music turned on. That's gonna be a bit more sensational. Those ballista are not gonna be enough. Oh. Well, with these guys coming, I would bet on Nito right now. Although Dev has been claiming this up better than expected. I'm interested to know why the Norse Titan has the Egyptian icon when there's no Egyptian in the game. So Nito forced to spend a ton of resources again, but so is Kleb. Where are Tixem's villagers? Am I mathing correctly? Was there like only 60 villagers here? Is he just building something with 20 of them? Six over there? Oh, okay. That explains things. Oh, and yeah, he's starting his trade routes. Just go on to this gold. Would be nice. Or, okay, he's already on this one. Delete that archery range. And Kleb has managed to push back Nito for the moment. I'm not sure it's gonna last long. Now Kleb is full iron, but Nito is not, which is probably why he was trading so well before. And now Tixems just went back to Kleb's base, and I think Kleb's a corner right now. That wood situation hurts. That is a very nice taunt. And that is a very dead trade route. Are you full iron? 98 cents. Please be. If I had to bet on someone, it's gonna be Tixan. No, not Tixan, it's gonna be Nito. So this is gonna be interesting to see. While both players are cleaning this up, I'm gonna take a look at the YouTube comments. Okay, I just see your messages, Goodh. So yeah, I didn't even notice there was double food, but come to think of it, there was quite a bit of hunt and... Oh, I think you mean double food because of the fish plus the hunt? In which case I would say all the seeds are going to be better off in that regard, but North's early game is going to be pretty strong for sure. All that food income. Their ability to spam quite a lot of units quite quickly past the 1 or 2 minutes window after raging up to classical where they just get going. And I don't know why Nito hasn't committed to building his Titan. He could just even have 5 or 10 Berserks in a corner, and I think in the last 5 minutes it would have gone up, even if with his main army being out there. A thyroid, please. Please make a thyroid. I don't know what this son is doing here. Maybe he's worried about something coming on from this side, which is reasonably possible. Nito is committing to taking all the DCs that he can find. And he's gonna be denying this one and taking it for himself. Sure. That's just the units auto-attacking, auto-moving, I think. Yep. Exactly, he's going right for it. Although he might get denied in turn by exams. That's what it looks like. No, not going Hetairo is such a missed opportunity. And there he goes. Why is the Titan gate? I think it would be nice for him to have a Titan out at the moment rather than 2 minutes. Oh, 90 seconds-ish. Getting pushed very hard over here, although that's a lot of buildings, so it's gonna take a while for Tixams to push through, especially if he keeps attacking this wall. Those are dead villagers. If Nito sees them, which they didn't. Nito cleans up Tixam's forces on this side and is now causing trouble over here. Why do I not have stats for damage inflicted anymore? Why did it disappear? Because units definitely did damage. And that Titan is gonna come out pretty soon. I'm betting a couple rams are gonna come out of here, or ballista. And I'm gonna bet on Nito right now, winning this game. Nito might as well sell a bunch of food, bring himself that food and I mean, he's not gonna need the wonder to win, but just have 1 or 2 units in the corner, build it or something. Or 10. And Nito is opting to just go where Tixem's army is not, which is a smart move, I think, and he knows he's got enough buildings over here to delay Tixem's a long time. He's got some buildings around here, so he's been cleaning up on this side, sort of surrounding Nito somehow. Just shoot those guys up and put 1 or 2 units on the TC. Is my suggestion. And now Tixems is in a world of trouble. Did Nito just convert a whole bunch of berserks? I don't think so, it's only 40 points, he's still at 100 villages. Okay, so he didn't do that. That's a lot of flavor, Nito. You might have wanted to cast a bronze. No, not Nito, Tixems. To cast a bronze before taking these fights. And there we go. Nito is the winner of his first game of Group B. Congratulations to Nito. And let's take a look at the post-game. I'm not surprised to see him ahead of everyone, pretty much since the middle of the game. He was 2-2 with Gleb for a time, and with Rocco, who was booming the most but didn't have any army to defend himself. There's been some big fights. That is when Rocco just got erased from the map. That was when Gleb first pushed onto... No, when Tixems had his second push onto Gleb, I would think. And who had the most TCs? Okay, up to 11 for Nito by the end. Nito collected the most resources of every kind. Did he have a few trade caravans by the end? Oh no, it was the fishing ships, I suppose, who put his villager count up there. Maybe. This is weird. Gleb actually with the most units killed. I'm a bit surprised. I would have thought Nito would have gotten that, maybe Tixems. But Gleb is truly well and truly far ahead. But Nito had the biggest army by 60-70% more than Gleb. Tixems got 170 villager kills. That is a lot of players worth of villagers. And Nito 133. 101 buildings raised for Tixems. That is impressive. Jesse Courage at 422 for Red Cardinal and Dragon. And yeah, this is what we expected to see. Total settlements captured, which would be for the entire game, I suppose, and just at one time, which was 11. And we didn't see many god powers, but those are not the sieves that use them the most. GG everyone. That was a very interesting game, a bit slow to start, but the pace can be like that, but action-packed the entire way through after that. Okay, taking a look at the Discord, what just happened in chat? Looks like Jabot is gonna join one of the games, probably Group A, I think. I'm gonna take a quick look at Twitch and see if they're still going on with game 1. Okay, they're waiting for a match in between games as well. Okay.
Golden Royal
No,
also
actually,
a bit under
Group A
pressure
is
as he
still
tries
going
to
on. It
micro
looks like.
between attacking red and
Yep.
defending
There's
against teal.
30 minutes and there's no
Gaia
one
sends
dead.
another army down his way.
Whereas the game is
But
over
here
by
comes
now.
another
In
Inferno
Group B.
right onto a huge mass of orange military, and kaboom. There we go. See you later, a whole bunch of military there. Not a huge amount of damage building-wise, but good damage on the military. We do see some portable rams smacking away at this fortress here.
Oh yes, feel free to
potentially
jump over
drawing the ire
to
of Blue,
Boom
but
stream for now, during the intermission.
Blue seemingly focused on killing all hope for J4, trying to find each and every spot where his villagers lay wait. Let's have a quick check-in on the count here. 30 civilian population for green. So dwindling numbers, but holding on for now. Looking across the map, seems like the towers dealt with the portable rams eventually. Perhaps the villagers came out to slap them, but the fortress did go down. The battle between teal and grey continues over this water crossing here, just back and forth, you know, forming a similar dynamic as yellow and orange. Although you can see here that yellow is actually really taking the steel chair to orange, having destroyed a couple of town centers now, built one of their own over the top. Orange really in a sour spot right now. Another gold mine dropped for J4 as he turtles in the corner. And look at this, a whole bunch of trade being brought round with nowhere left to go. They've got to find somewhere. Managing to find a 12 gold trade trip. Not exactly what you want to see. But, you know, make do with what you can. And Orange is now fighting for their life, trying to hold on to what's left of their territory. They're down to a single town center and a dream. They haven't yet felt the sting of the blue military might. So they have a chance. But yellow, kind of undisturbed all game, only had to deal with a fight in one direction, and that was Orange's direction. And you can see that over time, they've managed to win the battle of attrition. The giant power from the Hell Mythic Age for Orange hasn't paid dividends, as the Goaty problem got a little out of hand and destroyed a lot of their momentum. They weren't quite able to finish yellow off, and now it looks like their time in this game is also dwindling. Blue sending their army straight into J4, ignoring these buildings, going for the town center. Is sick of it, wants to finish them off, claim their head. We still haven't seen the first elimination of the game yet, and we are at 33 minutes, which is crazy. But it's certainly not looking good for our man, who is now migrating further north. But he's got nowhere to go. It's either right into the teal army, or it's into Grey's military might. Yellow, settling lands as they conquer. Town center after town center, building over the top. I think that's 0 town centers left for Orange player now. Destroying the hill fort, building hill forts of their own as they go. It is the North staple. And all this trade sitting there, nowhere left to go. That looks like it could be it for our Orange player this game. And Golden Royal, a bit of idling villages as he struggles to defend this constant Gaia pressure. And there we see J4 tapping out. A salute to you, good sir, kind sir. A well-earned rest after a good game played. But look at this, Reds, Nidhogg, flying across the lands, causing trouble wherever he can find. Looks like he's targeting Gaia a little bit. If only he knew the state that Orange was in. What is the stats for our good friend Mr. Loki? Whoa! 3 civilian population. Just Here they are, 1, 2, and 3, tapping away at this gold, just hoping that no one notices they're there. But yellow and blue clashing now. The Underworld passage allowing blue to bring his army home to defend. The portable rams smash it down, so they're committed now. There are Peltast on the front lines. You don't love to see it. Legendary Jarls here, slapping away, but they're against hoplites mostly. There's a lot of hoplites in the mix here. Belafron targeting down those portable rams. Heracles getting involved, and it looks like he's going to be able to turn his attentions towards yellow. Yellow, though, definitely climbing up in terms of points. Blue, top of the leaderboard, but gonna have his work cut out for him against the third strongest player on that remains on the map. And the battle continues. Just a quick look over at Golden Royal. Currently being absolutely pillaged by the likes of Squanto. The Contarius running from gathering point to gathering point. What is the villager count left? It's 35 and dwindling. Golden Royal, not long for this world, finally losing his footing as Gaia takes the fight to the last town center, I think, for them. And it looks like Yellow has managed to beat through the front lines of Motoba. And there's quite a lot of military here as the rally points stream units forward. But is there enough military production?
I have now been given the game URL. And
battles between the buildings. Jarls all over the shop. Just so tanky. Causing problems even for hoplites to tear down quickly enough. Portable rams running forward. There's the matter of this plenty vault to defend. The town center goes down. And it is rough. Once Golden Royal is eliminated, if indeed he is, Gaia will turn their attentions, no doubt, onto Yellow, and that's when the game gets really interesting. You're going to have this triangle of battle. Blue doing their best to regain control of this area. Both plenty vaults going... Well, yeah, both plenty vaults going to Yellow. It's a huge deal. It's a lot of resources per second. And here comes Gaia, finding the last town center of Golden Royal. No other presence on the map. Of course, we do still have our Loki player sitting here.
Reminder that while we wait, you can go over to Twitch and see how game 1 of Group A is still going.
And of course, Yellow is
still
on the map as well.
Like we're almost
barely.
40 minutes in and there's only been one person signing, so quite a bit more intense
than the battle rages on.
We've seen on our group. I don't know if it's more intense, but it's definitely at least as intense for longer.
We do see some Prodromos coming out, hoping that they'll have more success against the Jarl. So many upgrades, though. Actually, can we have a look at that real quick? Yeah, look at this. We got the 10% hit point increase from that. 20%. Of course, you got the Iron Armor. Twilight of the Gods, Human Soldier, 10%. So these are tanky boys. 314 hit points total for the Jarls. They are just nightmares in the late game. But a bit of a composition switch up for Motoba. They've got their armies gathered. They're making a push. The yellow army is split. If they're going to be able to regain control, maybe now's the time. As Orange sends their trade into the fray to confuse everyone as attack orders are given. The Prodromos run across the field. But as you can see, Gaia is starting to turn their sights onto yellow as their armies make their way across the map. Some army in the center here just trying to finish off the last of orange. But once that's done with, the pressure is right onto the heart, the home seat of yellow's base. And look at this! Gaia also taking the fight to Loki as well, but flaming weapons come out. The fire giants trying to hold on to what little they have. Red, desperate to make a comeback, putting his giants onto this transport ship to run away, trying to get that settlement claimed. And it's a good opportunity. Could potentially rebuild. I really hope to see a bit more of a red comeback. Blue seemingly pushing back yellow just a little bit. Tried to go for a sneaky fort in the back here. The Jarls caught it, but they're trying to finish the build. Looks like they won't be able to finish it. And we do see Golden Royal calling it. They did manage to finish the fort though, but it's too late. The Jarls did the damage they needed to do. You see the crab, the giant enemy crab here slapping away at some berserks. As yellow tries to really
I'm gonna turn on the light in my room because it's getting dark. Yeah.
Plenty vaults. Still under yellow control. Motorbar, plenty of gas left in the tank. I don't believe they've used any of their... Oh no, that's right. They did go Hephaestus, so they do use the plenty vault. I'm so used to Zeus players going Hera.
And I'm gonna get myself some water.
Red being a nuisance, building that settlement now. Gaia trying to clear him off the map. And if only Gaia had chosen to fight yellow, then blue would be in a lot better spot right now. But blue gonna have to hold on. Throwing their military at the gates, trying to hold the walls, but the walls go down. These Jarls, just so difficult to stop. 2 fortresses, a town center, a few hoplites in a dream for blue. No running from the Jarls, of course. Oh, but look at this. For the 3rd time this game, trying to garrison blue's units into the fortresses, manages to escape. Quite well done. Did get a lot of damage, and there's the Heimdall as well, but the restoration as well to counter. Great god power usage from both players. Oh, that's actually Red's Heimdall. A little cooperation there between Norse players. Oh, Motorbar's going to be stinging from that.
Looks like they're starting on
Red,
this
they
side.
say as they shake their fist to the sky. But look at that. Entropic
The game has just disappeared now.
That, saying, this is my last act of revenge. I support yellow with my Heimdall god power, and I concede. Well played to Red. Entropic tapping out 3rd, holding on for a very long time in the center of the map. But Gaia has cleared them out now.
I might find it for some reason.
And what's this? Orange taps out as well. Alright, well that's it. Gaia has taken care of Orange, they've taken care of Red, and now all that's left is yellow or blue, and I know who they're closest to. So this huge...
Yes, they should. Yes, yes, KDH. They're playing Nomad Sticks indeed. As you can see right now, it says it on the map. Please refresh, game. Please refresh. I'm gonna see you tomorrow when the Bros Games features has worked. Maybe in a minute, maybe tomorrow. Who knows?
But attrition is kicking in. Yellow is not able to keep the flow of troops to the front line as he sends units to push Gaia away. But the Gaia army is right onto the trade line.
There we
that's
go,
gonna
but now
hit
it says we can...
Yellow
There we go.
right in the gold.
Okay, so as with all normal maps, it starts with a lot of... what's the word? Ceasefire. So, presenting to you third players, we're gonna start with Red here, with Dagon, who was playing as Shelong in the first game of this FFA series. And he has just found his town center, and he's starting with directly of an army and his settlement, and I think he should have some villagers with this. Did he lose them to a shade or something? He's just popped out of the TC. Okay, player 2 is Web, who was playing as Frey in the previous game and who is now playing as Isis, who has just found some chickens right there for food, has built his TC. Oranos, this is our Rocco, who was playing as 4 in the previous game and is now playing as Oranos. He's walked a long way to get his TC up, but he gets quite a few villagers as an Atlantean. That's like 8 villagers to start the game with. And here is our boy Tixtems, who was second to last to die in the previous game. Killed off by Nito, who won that one. But he has also found his TC. Looks like he went all the way around somewhere too. Maybe that's just his scout. So he is playing Poseidon once again for the second time. Nito was playing as Freya before and is now playing as Gaia. I love to see that flash spread out on the thingy. Can I impose? Nope. Guess we're just gonna have to wait for Tixems to impose. And our last minute guest, who wasn't planned, who didn't sign up, but who we are very pleased to welcome, Jabot, who is playing as Numa. I actually have no idea how good Jabot is, if he's like top player level or if he's like 500 elo scrub level, but I guess it's gonna be somewhere in between. And I'm quite eager to see how he's gonna be faring. That's interesting to see he went straight away for the 2 villagers from creation. So he wants to kickstart his game off pretty quick. And I think I had the situation of someone pausing the game when someone else was spectating, and I just have to wait for the person to do it. Oh, okay. Rocco got disconnected, and we might have to... Yep, we have to restart. Okay. I'm just gonna exit this.
But the vaults are plenty, meaning
On the other side in Group A, it's
definitely in favor of
almost finished. There's only 2 of the contenders still fighting, Automaton and
in it to win
Skonto.
it. And the score reflects it.
Freya versus Gaia. Looks like they're gonna be finishing this game sometime soon.
But it's going to be Vermillos, Fanatics, and Fire Siphons from Gaia. A few units in the corner. Couple of units looking for trade to hit as well. But Yellow holding well in the north, in the south. Yellow also pushing out Gaia. And it certainly looks like the writing is on the wall.
I found it.
We'll have to see if Gaia has any tricks up their sleeves, but it's certainly a very yellow-dominated map for right now. The llamas prancing their way from town center to market. What's the gold looking like? 16 gold, not the greatest trade route, whereas we have a 141 gold trade route here for yellow. Wow.
Looks like we might be changing maps because Group A had a sync issue on this map as well. And it might be a map thing, with a random map script being a bit wonky, so we might be playing on another map for this game too.
And despite the fact that I felt that yellow was all-inning at the wrong times, they were able to do it. The late game of Freya just too strong, the units too healthy, was able to just hold both fronts simultaneously like a madman. And Gaia doing their best to try to take some ground and push Freya back, but it's not looking good.
We are going to be retrying on this one.
The trade route of Gaia, Squanto in a panic as the llamas run from the berserks, bashing them down as they ride right through Yellow's freshly established production center. It's going to take the will of the gods and perhaps some guard towers to hold the advance of the yellow army. In the south, berserks run uncontained across the trade route of Gaia. No walls, no defenses, just a few fanatics at the river crossing here. And I'm curious just to have a quick look at the fishing economy of yellow. Definitely a late game consideration. Do we see much in the way of fishing? Yes, we do see a lot of fishing from Gaia as well. A lot of fishing here as well. Portable rams smacking away. Heavy portable rams, I should say. Able to get that town center. A bit of a containment of yellow in the north. Huge amounts of defensive buildings now. Will it be enough? In the south, yellow just building up speed, eliminating this town center, removing the last of Gaia's presence in the south before making their push towards the river crossing. But Fanatics coming all the way down towards the town center here, just trying to buy time, perhaps an overextension, but at this stage of the game, the micro is intense. Miss micros can happen.
Let's spectate now. Welcome to the second game 2 of... It's the second game 2 of the DoD Underworld FFA game. This is Nomad, but with a slight twist, which is that it's a stick slake. I have to rotate the map, I'm sorry. That looks like... That could be a skull. Just need an orbit there, and a few teeth there. And we've got a skull. That is amazing that a random script just got us this on this seed. So Dagon is playing as 4 this time. He was playing as Shenong in the previous game. Nito is playing as Gaia this time. He was playing as Prey in the previous game. we have an esteemed guest who wasn't planned to play but just joined last minute, which is very acceptable. And so we're pleased to welcome Gerbot, who's playing as new one. He also went again for the very early creation. And here we see Tixems, who was playing as Poseidon in the previous game and in the first attempt at the second game, which crashed because of an out of sync. So he chose Zeus this time. Rocco was playing as Thor in the first game and is now playing as Uranus. And Eb was playing as Freya in the first game and is now playing as Isis. So we only have one Norse. Yeah, we have one of every Civ, except 2 Atlanteans. That is quite some variety then.
Bullreg.
I'm gonna try to speed up a little and catch up to where they are, since there's not much going on right now anyway. In the interest of time. Okay, let's stop here. I don't see anyone who went second. Well, nobody's in the classic rage yet, so that's why nobody went second, I see. I'm a bit off from having sped up the thingy. And I've now caught up to where they are. Maybe with 3 minutes of delay, I'm not sure. First to classical age is Rocco. And I wonder if he's gonna go for a... No, no TC right away, it looks like. I think, yes, the Chinese do start with 2 Quafu on Nomad. Like, they start with 1 and then they get another one for free from building the TC. Which gives them a very strong start. Okay, so second to classical age was Gerbot. I wonder if he's gonna go for a TP. That macro looks to me like it's just catching up on wood, and he's gonna have enough gold by then. Although, has he scouted any other TC? Yes, he has. Nito went up to the classical age as well. And might very well be going for another TC of his own. That looks to me like it. Pixems is not having any villagers on gold right now. I'm not too sure what he's gonna go for. Rocco has a lot on wood at the moment, but not on gold. And Dagon is the last one to the classical age, and it's gonna take another 30 seconds, so... To some extent, he's gonna be a bit ahead in economy, especially with the Rovan Armory to boot, which is most likely why he was late to the classical age, but... This is an FFA, it's not just an extra 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 villagers that are gonna decide the outcome of the game, most of the time. I don't know what he's scouting for. Maybe trying to see if there's another island somewhere. And there we go, Dagon next to the classical age. Nito just got his TC up, and Gerbot is getting his up as well. Kleb also got a second TC up. There we go, that's better. 90 degrees. Another mini-map. Dagon is going straight up for another TC even with very few units. That's interesting, that's an extremely defensive position to have his gold mine. I'm not sure he can put dwarves back there though. And Tixems has also gone for a second TC. Jabot is first in score. Very close behind is Nito, just 30 points behind. So I think what we're starting to see is just the scores are gonna now start to mean something, rather than just the early game when they don't really mean anything. So you could do some scouting with that. I wonder, okay, XM hasn't identified anyone, maybe just Jabot now, going for an extra TC. Jabot just about starts to know about XMs, he knows quite a lot about Nito. Okay, no, wait, why am I getting line of sight on both Jabot and Nito? Some weird things happen in this game sometimes. I'm very confused. And Roku doesn't even really know about anyone besides XM's there. And it looks like we are seeing some action somewhere. Oh yeah. Just trying to do a bit of raiding on XM's there. But not getting much done. Maybe killing a couple villagers. But that's about it. And Kleb just about has identified where Nito is and knows where Dagon is. I see Jabot has gone for how many town centers now? That's his third one over there. He's the first one and only one to have 3 TCs now. Getting a military camp over around each TC, except this one, he's just got a temple there. Dagon also going for a third town center. Kleb, I suspect, might be going for a heritage. Yes, very soon. He's just missing the armory and market. A few Myrmidons from Nito are running around, looking for some trouble. You had to give some trouble or to get into some trouble. Jabot is actually first one to heritage. Yeah, the Quafu, starting with 2 Quafu as Chinese is pretty strong. Okay. Does Jabot know that Dagon is on 3 TCs? He only knows about 1 TC. Well, he can guess it's the second one, minimum. There's just a few beginnings of a fight maybe there, but just poking and prodding. Why do I get line of sight on 2 players? What is beyond now? Those are a lot of houses. It's not gonna be quite as pretty as the house wall of Red Cardinal, I think it was in game 1. So no fighting going on yet, just a couple raids here and there. But that's about the extent of it. Jabot building some walls here. And Jabot has firmly taken the lead now. Kleb is second to the heritage, but second to last in terms of score. Jabot building the Great Wall of China. That is a dead Anumite. And those are starting to accumulate Valkyries. Who else is going up to heritage right now? Nobody else, but Roku just advanced as I was looking. And I wonder where else he's got his sky passages. How do I cycle through both? Just between his 2 TCs there. Jabot is preparing a storm, I think, of some kind. He might be going fast mythic, seeing how he's not getting into any trouble. And is not really training much in the way of military. First two villagers of Tixams are not gonna do anything. And I think Jabot is gonna get this up before. Yep, there it goes. Rocco seems to be messing up troops and building a palace now. He might be pushing them to Tixams not long from now. He might be trying to go to Mythic looking at that Akko, which would make sense to get those fire siphons out. Tixams just got to Harry Cage with the Underworld, putting down a fortress here. And Nito just aged up with Fear. He bolt onto that. What's the name? This is a Tau? I think it's a Tau. A bit of shooting's good here. Since Gleb is going Chariot Archers, he's taking a third TC now. I didn't notice, but Nito Hazelway also went for a third TC. And Dagon is now in Harry Cage with Bragg. And he's on 4 TCs. Okay, that's interesting. Does he have the highest villager count? Not quite, but he's gonna get 100 about at the same time as Jabot. Cabe is quite a ways behind. Nito is actually fully maxed out now. And Roko is at 82. And Gleb did a fast mythic, and he's got the Son of Osiris now. I'm very interested to see where this goes. So Gleb opted to go fast mythic before he went for his third town center, and now he's got fast mythic with a area upgrade, and he's gonna get his prosperity off. A really good start. And now the fight has begun between Dagon and Roko and Tixams and Jabot. 4 pairs, I think, versus each other. I think Dagon just noticed that there's already quite a few too many contenders here, just ready to go away. I think Tixams is in a very bad position. Jabot is fortifying his own, which is nice to see. Yep, Tixams just surrenders here. He felt the way that the wind was blowing. And I'm not betting much on Cape right now. He has to do something quick. Whatever here, Roko has pulled back and so has Jabot. And now Dagon is preparing to pay a visit to Gleb, it looks like. Dagon, which is on 5 TCs now, 6 TCs. To Jabot's 4, Roko's 3, with a village center. Gleb's 3, and Nito's 3. And Tixams, of course, 0 now. That's unfortunate for Dagon to lose the Zenith side. So now Dagon is in a good spot because he's got a lot of bot, but He doesn't have the troops yet. I think he's going mythic. Yep, that's exactly it. And now he's gonna start bumping up troops. And Kleb has managed to convince Nito that Nito shouldn't push. But Nito is going Mythic Age, there's gonna be an implode, there's gonna be fire siphons. Roku is also going Mythic Age, Dagon as we saw. Jabot is also going Mythic Age. So this is a pretty different game from the previous one, where most of our players spent a long time in Heroic Age, where we got some fighting early on. With even a 1 TC attempt by Pet Cardinal. And yes, now Dagon is messing up troops, now that he can spend his resources freely. Okay, so I'm not seeing the chat right now, but it looks like Kleb and Rocco just made an alliance. A second forest protection. And Rocco gets yet another town center. That is 7 now. And this army of Rocco looks like it's doing a lot of damage to Jabot's army. But what Rocco likes is the siege to push forward. Although he just got to Mythic, so he's gonna be able to get those fire siphons out now. Dagon is messing up a storm, getting his upgrades, which I like to see. And it has a Fimbulwinter versus everyone else. Yeah, he gets line of sight everywhere. Shepard just got to Mythic Age with the Great Flood. And has managed to hold off Rocco for now, but is not ready to push. That is a... Wow. It's not so successful of an implode, but that is quite some spectacle to see 3 armies clashing with an implode in the center. Here, the fighting sort of continues. I would like to see a few fire siphons as well. Dagon with a very biggest army and the flaming weapons. And this is not a fight that Nito nor Kleb want to take. Especially since Rocco and Kleb are allies now. Can I take a look at the diplomacies? Oh yeah, I can. Dagon on 9 town centers now. Okay, so Jabot gets some peace, but Dagon is being attacked onto France now. Will I run? Yes, getting there. I think what Dagon is missing now is a bunch of production buildings. Because I guess he's just not training units, which he really could be. Don't know if he's trying to save up for it, Titan, but even that seems a bit of a stretch. Roku has taken up this position, and now the action seems to be here between Sherbot and Dagon. There's still some action over there between Dagon and Nito, but Nito has managed to push up Dagon for now. I don't think Sherbot is gonna do too well versus that massive unit, although that's gonna help. Here is some fighting between Kleb and Nito. Kleb has managed to keep his Novosaurus alive so far, although that may not last for too much longer. Dagon dropped a super uber Draven Knight with a whopping 1.84 full per second gather rate on his walls. And now Sherbot is in a bad spot in this position. He's not yet getting pushed by Roku, but that might happen. Although Roku is stationing his army over here for now. And here the fighting continues. Kleb is pushing Nito back. And hitting the Betsukos. Okay, now Sherbot is managing to push back Dagon. There's a trade route for Sherbot, who has made an alliance with Nito. I wish I could see the alliances being made. I was just lucky to be selected onto Roku when Kleb changed his stance to weapon. So we look to have a Kleb Dagon alliance and a Sherbot Nito alliance, and then Roku in his corner. And so we seem to be lucky. There's been no out of sync so far, not what I've seen. And now this one of Osiris finally dies. Roku on this side just doing his thing, taking his time. Has not started a trade route that I can see. Is he trying to protect the king or something? Like, what's interesting is that despite there being these two teams, Roku is just left to his own devices and doing whatever he wants for now. I think because they must have announced it in the chat publicly, he knows that he's just not in any danger at the moment, probably. And maybe a little bit of scouting would make sure of that. Although he just doesn't really know what's going on. What might he be doing? Getting upgrades from what I can see. He screwed up a ton of units, but he's max pop anyway. Maybe the next spot, since he's already got a Titan Gate, is to save up for him, well, full hero army it looks like, and then maybe a Contra as well. Sherbot seems to be losing now, over here. Sherbot with 5 TC, Dagon still with 7, Kleb with 3, Nito with 4. Nito seems to be pushing over here, so it's an interesting sort of, like, it almost turns like a wheel. Dagon is pushing into Gerbot, which is gonna have to pull back into Nito, and Nito is pushing into Kleb, which is gonna have to pull back into Dagon. I think this is when the much higher pop cap for Dagon is coming in handy. And likewise, I think the much higher pop cap for Nito is helping quite a lot versus Kleb. Nito has been able to stay pop cap now. I suppose he's gonna pull back a little, just get back to full pot and start pushing again. Whereas Gerbot is hard pressed to get full pot also. Dagon is just very happy to keep pushing with his full pot. Now Kleb is full pop as well, although his arm is out of position and he's getting like that hard. And Rocco just doing his thing, saving up resources maybe. Just he continues to spend them. I don't know on what. And so now Gerbot has lost whatever troops he had remaining and is getting pushed faster and faster. And likewise Nito is pushing Kleb faster and faster. Another forest protection of the town center for Gerbot, which is only gonna buy him a little bit more time, but not gonna do much. That is an extremely bad trade route for Kleb, which is very unfortunate. All those resources would have been better spent elsewhere than in his caravan. Has just not been spending resources all this time. Building forts, fortifying his positions, building an Maginot wall. And has started to pick up a fight versus Dagon. And so Gerbot plus Rocco is gonna be a bit too much for Dagon to handle, who has lost his full pop thingy and cannot quite spam troops quickly enough to get there, to stay there. Kleb has now resigned, so we have a 2v1v1 situation going on. Okay, Titan Gate coming down. Might have preferred to see that in there or somewhere here maybe. Although there's no Underworld on the table or these sorts of things. Not too much risk there. And now Dagon is in a tough situation. Does he team up with Rocco? Which I'm not sure is gonna happen. Does he pull back and hope that Rocco and Gerbot are gonna fight each other? This is a losing card for Dagon. Might be giving up resources for a new Fimbulwinter. trying to fight where all those units are teleporting? Might just be reinforcements from his army coming in one at a time. Ouch. Rocco buying himself some time to deploy the CC and reposition. Is Jabbat looking to attack Rocco? It seems like he is, but that might bite him in the bum. Does Dagon know where the Titan Gate is? Though he doesn't. But this is when having put it right there might have been more safe. Because if Dagon spots it, it's not going up. And suddenly Rocco might be in a world of trouble. Now Dagon knows the Titan Gate is there. And Nito is just left to do his own thing. He will have to betray Jabot at some point if he wants to win this game. So I don't know when that's gonna be. But I could see it being very painful for Jabot to have to deal with this army. And Rocco managed to push back both Jabot and Dagon, although it's more like Jabot has pulled back. And Rocco has his Titan now, no? Nito could start building his own Titan as well. I'm not sure why he hasn't started. And now Rocco has to Vortex away. Defend this position from Jabot, and I think Jabot is probably not gonna win this. Nope, it is not. But then that gives Dagon some time to move about. And Nito is just passing up a very scary army. He's got the highest pop, I think, now, of all the remaining players. Yes, indeed. So when that betrayal comes from Nito, it's gonna be very painful. And there comes the Titan Gate, which is safe in the back. Maybe not too safe from Jabot, who could just walk around, but it's a bit better than Rocco's, I would say. Rocco is fortunate to have his Titan to hold off entire armies from this side, while his actual army is getting damage done on this side and pushing Jabot back. Although Rocco is now out of troops over here. Those are a lot of Hesperides trees, so not only does Nito have the highest pop cap, he's also got the most Hesperides, Triads. 20 Triads is a lot of Triads. He's missing one Oracle though. Rocco could, well, yes, he's just gonna build it somewhere. This side. Okay, that's gonna be underwhelming Wonder Age. It's just Chaos on repeat, which is not too strong. Shockwaves on repeat, likewise. And the added favor gen might mean more hero troops or MIP units, but that's about it. That's about what he would gain from it. And he just doesn't really have a resource encountering that time, and 700 seconds is a lot of seconds to be waiting for a Wonder to appear. That's kind of a really an interesting thing about Retold, I think, which is that some gods have a very weak Wonder Age, whereas some gods like Noah with Infinite Forest Protection and Great Fur do have a great time. Defense on the Cyrus is also a good thing. Impulse on repeat, Hesperate Trees on repeat. Of course, Trimble Winters on repeat, so Atlanteans don't have the best Wonder Age. Actually, awareness. Nito is setting up for his own Wonder, I think so. And he's about to get his Titanite. And Trebot has started to build his own Titan somewhere. Yes, over there. And gotta remember that Roku isn't gonna get a second Titan until 10 minutes after he finishes the Wonder. Then Pat's gonna be very late to come. And Dagon is getting his own Titan Gate now. And Nito is starting his Wonder too. So it looks like the action has died down, and I don't know if the alliances are still on. Definitely between Jobot and Nito. A trade out there. And not between these two, since that DC just shot at Nito, but he doesn't want to provoke an attack or a response. That must be difficult to build a building or to dig something when you get pushed around by other people trying to dig around and build a thing. I just realized I'm at 20 FPS, and yet the game looks fine to me, which is, I guess, because it's a constant FPS with no frame drops. That is a lot of Orc Scouts. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. Titans are out for Trouble and Dagon now. Hey, it's Jabot's Titan. Still in the back now? Oh, there it is. Trying to find... Oh yes, I understand. Trying to find Roko's one. And Dagon is also trying to find Roko's one there. Although that hero army is gonna do a lot of damage to that Titan. But then Dagon's army is also coming around. Jabot doesn't know where the Wonder is, I suppose. Nope. Yeah, he's going the wrong direction. Which I think is gonna give Roko enough time to finish it, but as we said, it's not gonna be a very strong Wonder Age. And Nito is just happy to wait and do his thing. And I think Roko has pretty much lost the game now. I don't know what this Wonder is gonna do, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Ooh, that is nice. There's nowhere to be able to build the towers just automatically in the late game. Where did Rocco teleport to? I don't even see his arm. No. Yeah, so now is my question. What do you do with Underage? Because if you spam with god powers, you're not gonna have enough favor for Titan Gate anyway. I like to see them. An army of citizens shanking a Titan. I'm also taking a screenshot of this. I do have the photo mode actually. Let me just do that real quick. I'm gonna take it like that. Yes. Sorry about that earlier. And Nito is still waiting and doing nothing. I think he's just waiting for that Wonder Age to get an infinity of inputs before he attacks. I am amazed. This army of heroes, including villagers, mostly just kill that titan. Why did he use with chaos? What is Rocco doing? That's a dead titan. I would like to get it at some point when it just smashes with the hammer. Yep, there we go. Nope, I do not want to quit. This, I think, is the end for Rocco. Is he trying to spell something? On, off? Shockwave, because why not? I'm gonna come back and see what he keeps on writing there. And now Nitro has started to... He's in Wonder Age and has started to attack Dagon. I think Dagon is also gonna die very soon. Shepard just doesn't have a wood to stop Wonder. You might be able to purchase some of it, but it might be a bit too late to defeat Nito. These are super dryads, of which Nito has 27 now. Did Trevor just resign? Dagon has resigned, Roko has resigned, but it doesn't look to me like Trevor has resigned. What happened? I think I understand. Yeah, so what happened is, because they were in an alliance, they won as a team when all the other players were eliminated. And I didn't know it worked like that in an FFA, but we have two winners. I'm still gonna take a look at the post game. No surprise there to see Gerbert at the top. I'm surprised Nato is that far behind. He just didn't spend 50,000 resources in the last 15 minutes of the game, I suppose, and so came out on top regardless. Rocco with 2,101 favor. And 735 units killed. Dagon not far behind with 659. Nito killed the most villagers, and had villagers army and destroyed the most buildings. Very quick hero cages, especially for Kleb. The exams never got her. 37 Valkyries for Dagon. 57 Cody. 59 Dryads, that's not a surprise, but the 37 Valkyries definitely are. 15 Qinglong also aren't a surprise to me. And so, yeah, that looks to be it. Yeah, okay, so what happened is we were like, what we meant was it should be informal alliances just meant in chat and not using the alliance feature of the game. So yeah. Okay, reading the chat now. Yep. GG to everyone. That was quite a couple intense games. This one was quite a bit longer. We did get to see two wonders. I just realized while watching that game that it's been not weeks, months since I last saw Wonder in Ritold, and it's quite amazing to see that since I've been improving in skill and playing fewer custom games, I just don't get to such a late game because the games always end before that. And you just don't have the relics, even if the resources, even if it goes late game. I will end the stream now, and it's getting late. Not quite gonna go to bed, but it's not gonna be too long for me. I wish everyone a very nice evening, a very nice day, a very nice morning, depending on where you are in the world. I know that Flume is in Australia, so it's very early in the morning for him. Like I think he woke up at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. for this. So kudos to him. Oh wait, let's just take a look at the stream on their side.
Enough to start spawning some
Yeah, they're
minions
still
to get
going.
things out of
The
control.
game hasn't finished. They're just 22
Fafnir
minutes in.
goes down,
So if
donating
you want to
gold
see some more
to all
action,
the
you
other
can just
players.
hop
I think
up
I
to
saw 3
Twitch.
players getting some gold out of the deal there.
Once again, I
Bit of
wish
a
everyone a
retreat as the
great
Jarls
rest of the
push forward.
day.
Another
And I
mid-goal
hope you
going
had
down.
fun watching. And I wish you
taking the brunt from a couple of Jarls trying to stop
wish to
them
see you again